no choice. But you know what I'm saying? But me and my house, we gonna serve the Lord. Amen. But then, you know what I'm saying, we have to have that understanding that, you know what I'm saying, there are some people out there that just don't believe in God. But, you know what I'm saying, we still have to be, you know what I'm saying, that living example for those people. So because even in this movie, you know, right here, that was one of the younger officers, um, one of the younger officers, he really didn't believe it. He really didn't have faith like that. But, you know what I'm saying, as the movie progressed, you know what I'm saying, from him watching the other officers in the life that they were living, you know what I'm saying, this thing was turned around for him in his life. So, you know, that's something, you know what I'm saying, that even when we're faced with those situations, we're still having to stand firm and understand that, you know, hey, people still gonna watch us regardless because you know what? Everybody got something. To me, I believe that everybody have some level of belief regardless of whether or not they move to a community or not. Because I was just like I tell Terrence, you know, you got a little friend that say, you know what I'm saying, that he doesn't believe in God, but let him slip and fall off that skateboard, and the first name he calling on is oh God, oh Jesus. You know, so you ain't gonna tell me that, you know what I'm saying, you just don't believe, you know what I'm saying, you got some level of belief, amen. And the Bible tells us this, it gives us a measure of faith. So he's giving everybody that same measures up, and you can grow in your faith. Amen. Amen. All right. Let's see the next discussion question. It says John 3:16 is often referenced as a verse that explains salvation through Jesus Christ. How might it also reveal God's empathy for us, for those who suffer the death of a child? Which we already talked about that too. We can skip that.
Wait, we got a hand right here.
Huh?
Jocelyn. Jocelyn had a hand up.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Right here. She wanted to say something.
All right, come on. We wait.
I was gonna answer the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Like it says that that those who believe shall not perish but have everlasting life, and that so that gives the parents, tells the parents that if they taught their son or daughter right, and that to believe in God and stuff, that they will not perish but they will have everlasting life in heaven.
Okay. Anybody else?
I guess too is just God's way of being able to sympathize with those who've lost children because he suffered a loss as well. The biggest difference is that he gave his son willingly, which is probably I think is harder than having it happen unwillingly.
Mm-hmm.
Just personal opinion, because he has to live with the decision that he made a decision for me. It's like just me. He has to live with the decision he made to give his only begotten son for some undeserving people
Mm-hmm.
who still make me mad every day. You still doing the same stuff every day.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So you see what I'm saying? So he gave it willingly, where opposed he sympathized with those parents who have lost children. Okay, I lost mine too. So I understand what you're going through. Like Jocelyn said, if you abide in me and you taught your children right, then you already know that they're not perishing, that they're going to be with me everlasting life. So.
And that's something that God already knew, of course, when He did it. That's the interesting thing about it. It was a sacrifice, but then how much of a sacrifice was it for God for Him already knowing the outcome? He already knew I'm going to allow my son to be on the cross. I'm going to give it
Mm-hmm.
for this evil world so
Mm-hmm.
they can have a relationship with me, but He coming back to sit with me. He already knew that.
Yeah,
He
that's
said, go on down there, son. You be back.
I just wanted to add that, like to piggyback off of what she was saying, God understands. He understands their pain because he lost his son for a man.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, he lost his son for the greater good. There's a bigger purpose in him losing his son. So it's like it kind of helps. I mean, it doesn't take, bring the son back or the daughter back, but knowing God understands sometimes is enough.
So
And,
do
and I was
go
just
ahead,
saying,
Pastor. Go ahead.
she was talking about and for the greater good, but even with my uncle, talking to some of his brothers and stuff like that, they didn't realize, and sometimes you don't often realize how much effect and effect people have on other people. And sometimes, like I said, all them folks up there was doing some. They was on borderline before that girl died. Everybody was borderline. Like okay, and at that borderline rate, it's easy to fall in the opposite direction. And that's why he said, if you lukewarm, I'll spew you out. Because when you're on the borderline, you lukewarm. I mean, the chances are that you just bad. I mean, you might as well go on ahead, go the other way, and enjoy yourself. But and again, just like my uncle that we actually just went up there, in his death, amazingly enough, the amount of kids that got turned their life over to Christ. I mean, the response of like the dignitaries, the community. I mean, it's a year later, people still turning out, people still doing great things, stuff being, I mean, kids getting opportunities to participate in music and arts that wouldn't normally have opportunity because they start in the academies and all that stuff. So a lot of times we don't see it, but the greater good of someone's death actually overwhelms it. Don't take it away that it hurt, but it's the fact like wow. I mean, I never would have thought because in their life they couldn't have touched as many.
That's right.
But in their death, it just keeps going and building, and it just goes on and on.
That basically goes along too. You have ever heard anybody say, "Well, I'm working more dead than alive." You
Yep.
know,
It's
hey.
true.
I mean,
And most of our insurance policies are.
really,
That's literally the truth.
but really, just the, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Zachary had his hand
No,
up.
that,
Never mind. Okay, Mom, let's go.
no, I was saying that, and, I forgot what I was getting ready to say. But again, I guess about the hope, having hope, like you were talking about, having that hope that it's gonna be all right, and as in with God and what He did for us, He had the hope. As He did what He did, there was still hope for good. And the good was that when his son died on the cross and rose, he gained, and we gained opportunity to have a relationship with God.
That's right.
And God gained opportunity to have a relationship with us. And so that's that hope of that good coming out of that painful and bad situation. And I know I'm sending my son to the slaughter, but there's hope that there's some good that's going to come out of this situation. So it all goes back to the cross.
Everything. But even actually, see, it seems like every question that I get ready to ask y'all, somebody answer. Because I was getting ready to ask the question, well, do y'all feel like even in this young girl's death in the movie, you know what I'm saying? Were there any good things that came out? That was my next question, but
Yes.
he answered it before I could get it out.
Was it the relationship with his son got better?
His whole family.
His whole family.
Everything.
And you think about, and then like if you watch some of these supernatural movies, I don't know if y'all ever watched the Butterfly Effect,
Yes.
where what's the Ashton Kutcher trying
Yeah.
to go back and change stuff, and he's trying to change the situations, and sometimes he thinking he's changing it for the good. He's trying to make bad things better, and in him making bad things better,
Everything get
he made
worse.
other things very, very worse.
Mm.
And so that's a very good movie. But and so you look at situations like this, thinking what worse thing could have happened to more people if this one tragedy didn't happen? What would have happened to the son? What would have happened to the family if this tragedy, so-called tragedy, in certain senses, did not happen? It may not have changed other people for the better, for the greater good.
Yeah, right.
And so, you know,
Like I was saying earlier too. Well, go ahead, Terrence. Before I stop.
But I was saying like because of that girl's death, it made the other officer, the young officer, I can't remember his name, but like the really young one, made him realize that he did have a daughter and he wasn't even thinking about her all the time. So he was like, I should go spend time with my daughter. I mean, I did what I had to do to get a daughter, so I might as well go spend time with her.
so that's a whole nother family touch.
That's right.
That's right.
That's true.
Not one family,
Mm-hmm.
but another family, and then we don't know what other families
Who
were
they were
touched at the
connected to.
funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And also the black family, they were also touched because the guy, he was saying how he should cherish his daughter and took her out and told her about wait for the right guy and stuff and yeah.
And also they opened him up to her, the boy that was supposed to have been her boyfriend too, to, you know what I'm saying, to
Right.
open himself up to, you know what I'm saying, maybe to reach a little further beyond the outside of my household.
To be a father.
Yeah, and exactly, you know, say be a father to somebody who don't have a father. And, you know what I'm saying, also, just like we discussed earlier, it saved, you know what I'm saying, a family from breaking up, because we never really know, you know what I'm saying, what road his son was about to hit down. He probably could have been getting ready to get into some drugs, getting ready to get mixed up into some bad crowds, and, you know what I'm saying, and really take their family through something that, you know, really,
You think about it, he could have been the next serial killer
exactly.
and could have took, you know, really, he could have been the next
Killing
shooter at
men.
the elementary school.
Yeah.
He was
You know,
very
think about,
despondent.
you know, so you think about situations like that, and definitely some things happen as bad as they may seem for the greater good, because you don't know how many people were saved spiritually and physically from the child's death.
That's right. That's right. So with that being said, that's it. So even in